Hey everybody, this is Brian from thetruthaboutwatches.com. Here through today for a review of the Citizen 20th Anniversary Aqualand Diver, model number JV0030. Before I go over the watch, I want to show you guys this is pretty cool. This is the actual watch box that this watch ships in. This little scuba tank looking thing here. I'll try to get the whole thing in the frame. It's pretty cool. It's a nice addition to the usual little black boxes that fill my closet. The bottom pops off and it's got some really nice foam in there. So if you've never ordered an Aqualand before, that's what you get when you buy one. So let's go back to the watch here. As you can see, it is a fairly large watch. I'll get it up against my wrist so you can kind of see there. And I realize that's going to be hard, but it is a big watch. Of course, on this side you have the sensor for the depth and thermometer, and there's the select and mode buttons. On this side you have the log and the light buttons, and you can see that the case is pretty thin for how big the watch is. Has a usual Citizen screw down case back. This one is nicer than the normal Citizens I've noticed, so if I can get you so it's right side up there. It's engraved pretty well. Most of the Citizens are really smoothly engraved, like they did it with like a sewing needle. You know, this one actually is inset in the case back. You can kind of feel it. Just a nice touch from the usual Citizen stuff. The bracelet or the strap is held in by spring bars. You could change it if you wanted to, but I wouldn't recommend it. This one works pretty well. The rubber is really smooth and it wears good on your arm. It is extremely long, as you can see here, so you could easily wear this around a wetsuit with no problem whatsoever. The buckle is signed with the ProMaster logo, if that's going to come out. There you go. So let's go over the basic features of the watch. Of course, right now you're in time and date mode, which, you know, New York City, 12/5, Saturday. And right now it is 8:35 p.m. or 8:35 a.m. And kind of excited because in about 20 minutes here I'm going to be headed just about across the street to go diving. So got a chance to try this bad boy out. I just wanted to get the review done before I sunk it in the water and maybe it'll leak. Who knows? I hope not, but you know, always best to show it when it's good. So I've got my fingers crossed. Okay, so the first mode screen gives you travel time, and of course I have it set to Tokyo because I'm weird. So if one cool feature here is hold this log button and the select button for 2 seconds, it'll change your modes. So now it shows me that I'm in Tokyo and New York City says 8:35. So, and actually it appears as if I have this set to the wrong hours because that's saying it's 8:36 at night, which it's definitely not. So I need to fix that here in just a second. We'll go back to New York City as the main time, and you can see there it's going to drive around back to New York City as the main time. And there again it's showing Tokyo at 10:36 a.m., which that should be 10:36 p.m. So we'll have to modify that here in a minute. But anyways, so you can see that you can switch the time zones there if you hold these two buttons in. So if you travel, you know, let's say you're going from Georgia to California. When you get to California, you put it on your alternate time zone, pushes two buttons, and it shows your local time on the watch and your home time back on the screen. So it's a pretty cool effect there. Next is alarm 1, alarm 2, and alarm 3. Now, when I click the next screen, I'm going to go by it kind of in a hurry, otherwise the hands are going to do something strange. The next screen is the dive alarm setting. You can set your depth alarm, time alarm, for how long you've been underwater, all that kind of stuff. But we're going to go straight to the reset screen here. And, oops, looks like I bypassed it. This is the log screen, so I guess we'll take a look at that first. You can see the hands kind of reset there. There's no dives on this watch right now. At the top here you can see it says log dash dash. If there was a log, it would say log 01, 02, 03, 03, etc., etc., etc. It goes up to 99, I believe, before it starts over again. And as you can see, it's showing you the maximum depth on the hand there. I'm going to have to look at the camera. It's to be about 260-ish. We'll just take a guess there. And this is going to be the time when the watch was pressure tested, obviously, because it hadn't been diving yet. So you're seeing there it was on September 9th. At 12:52 p.m. It looks like this watch was pressure tested, so it looks like it was done this year. So you push select again, so this watch was made recently. There you go, 263 feet, 75 degrees for 9 minutes and 47 seconds. So that's one heck of a pressure test, I guess. I'm sure they did it in a little capsule, but still pretty cool. So you can go back there. So, you know, again, if you had done dives, it would show you, you know, a log and a number. Okay, so the next screen is going to be the reset screen. You can watch the hand circle around there. And then the depth hand will go up. And they're all going to line up at the markers. and this is your opportunity to straighten them out. If any of the hands are not behaving properly, you can line them up. I think that's really cool. I'm such a freak about the hands lining up, so it's a cool feature that you can do that by yourself. And of course, we'll go back into the time screen here, and the hands will spin themselves back out, which I just love to watch. I just think that's really, really cool. Now, if you see here, people always want to know the depth hand. So right now, it's pointing at like 200 feet. It's really not. What it's doing is pointing at the batteries, and I lost my pointer, but if you can see there on the dial, beside the 9 o'clock, there's a white oval, a white dot, then a red and black oval, and it might be really hard to see on the camera. But what the depth hand's doing right now is pointing at the charge indicator, so it's in the white oval, it's fully charged. I've had it for about a week or so, never seen it below full charge. It just doesn't use any battery power, evidently. Let's go ahead and get the Lume worked up here. And I will say that this watch has just some really, really great Lume. It's super bright, and which, you know, for a dive watch really is important, because a lot of times it's dark underwater and it's kind of hard to read your watch. So, but I feel like Citizen really did a great job on this. A couple things to note while I'm doing this. There's a small red dot underneath the 12 o'clock, which I'll show you in a minute. It's actually not a red dot, it's an LED, and it functions as your depth alarm and your timer alarm and all kinds of good stuff, just a little flashing light. And that should be good. Kill the lights here. And it's knocked over the scuba tank. But you can see there, it is super, super bright. And I'll hit the LED here. So now the watch is kind of like a greenish bluish. I realize on the camera it looks a lot more blue. It's more in the realm of aquamarine in real life, not that super blue you see there. Do the LED one more time. Let me kill the light, or hit the lights. So as you can see, that's got a really, really, really great Lume on it, and the whole watch lights up at night, which is super cool. Just a couple things to note. If you're going to use it as a diving watch, the depth meter only functions as a maximum depth. I kind of found that out the hard way. A buddy of mine and I dove with his Aqualand, and it, you know, I don't know. I kind of feel like I wish they would have done that as a live depth meter, but for some reason they chose not to. I think probably the reasoning is this gauge would be really hard to read accurately. Like if you wanted to stop at, 80 feet, well, 80 feet is just a dot in between 60 and 100, so it'd be a little difficult to function that way. So the current depth the live readout shows up on the LCD, which is probably better. But that little meter functions more like a I don't even know what you want to call it, like a record keeper, or like a dive master. It just tells you how deep you ever were. Basically, if you're going to dive only on like a Navy dive table, that might be useful, because it would show you your total maximum depth. If you were going to plan out your next dive after your first one, if for some reason you didn't plan your first one, I don't know. I can't really think of a good reason, but I'm sure that's why they did it. So your average, I can't even talk, your current depth shows up on the screen. As you can see here, the second hand's really accurate. I'm not sure how well you can see it here, but it's pretty much landing on every single marker. There's one down here in the corner where it's off by about a half of the width of the hand. So again, it's pretty good. Overall, I say I'm extremely happy with this watch right now. I can't wait to go diving this morning, and I'll try to get a video of it underwater. Probably going to be difficult because my camera's not acting right now with the housing, but I'm going to try. So in the next couple of months, I'll probably have a video up of this watch actually during a dive. So stay tuned, and I guess that's all for today. I will see you guys next time.